10 to 12 ஆன் பண்ணிடலாம்.
ஆமாம், அது சும்மா ஒன்றும் ஐடியெல்லாம் வேண்டாம். மட்டும் நம்ம
கரண்ட் சொல்லுங்களேன்.
கரெக்டில் நல்ல பல்பு சீக்கிரம் போயிடும். அது லைட்டு பல்பு
கணக்கு. ஆனால் அடிக்கடி ஆஃப் பண்ணி ரன் பண்ணி போட்டாலும் ஃபியூஸ் போட்டு தான் இருக்குங்க.
அப்படி இருந்தாலும் சின்ன சும்மாவே இருந்ததுன்னா போட்டு எடிட்டேட் பண்ணுவோம்.
அப்படி நம்ம 10 to 12 ஃபுல்லாக எடிட்டோம்
அப்படின்னா on your part.
Yes. There is a very big gap between the theory, what we can read in books and what we can hear. But in the praxis, to realize that, to be that is really difficult. That's something like we go some steps forward, maybe 3 steps forward and 2 steps back. Read again and again. And so, the thing is, are we the doer? Are we, if everything is according to our karma, so that means it will happen like it is, it will come like it comes. And things, they are not like it seems to be. So, what to do?
So first of all, we have to understand the difference between enlightenment and yoga. Enlightenment is different, yoga is different. For yoga, you have to practice, you have to do something. When you do something, you can get something. So doing and getting is related to the yoga process. But we are related the yoga process towards the enlightenment also. But there is no practice is necessary for enlightenment. Enlightenment is just understanding. For example, if you in the evening, it's about to be dark, but almost dark, and you walk upon a street, and you see a fine rope fallen in the rope. The rope is very fine. So you want to take the rope in your hand. When you take the rope in your hand, then you realize that it is not a rope, it is a snake. The very moment you realize it is a snake, you will throw away the snake. So you will not try to throw away. You will not practice to throw away the snake. The very understanding will dismiss everything. You will not practice anything. The very understanding is enough. But here, what we are teaching, what we are doing is, for the beginners, the yoga is a must. Without yoga, we cannot have any progress. We cannot have any foundation work. So, yoga is very good for the beginners. And we have to, as a idea, we have to take all the steps. some practice, meditation, prayers, silence, doing silence, many things is there. You have to practice. But understanding and enlightenment is different. Here, you have to understand what is the functioning of our mind. If you understand the very functioning of your mind, it will liberate you. The enlightenment will come and you will have the liberation, the necessary liberation you will have. But whenever you execute your understanding, whenever you try to practice your understanding, then you are struggling with yourself. Actually, the enlightenment is give up everything, not attaining something. So you have to give up. But give up is not mean to the external world. Externally, you have to have your possession, you have to have your belongings, you have to keep your house, relationship, everything you have to keep, you have to have. But psychologically, you have to give up everything. You should not have anything. So even the I consciousness is a temporary one. There is no permanent I am. It is a momentary one. Each and every moment, the I am is coming new. Whenever we have thought, you will have the feeling of I am. So each and every moment, it is new. So the newness has to come. For that, you have to dismiss the old. So the old thought has to go, the new thought has to come. The old experience has to go, the new experience has to come. So we should not do anything, this I want, this I don't want. We have no duty. Psychologically, we must be without anything. So we must be open. There should not be any philosophy to safeguard yourself. You have to put down all your philosophies. You have to put down all your understanding. So you have to understand to the level that you have nothing to do. You need not attain anything. To that level you have to understand. All philosophy will take you to the level, then you understand that you don't want anything. Nothing is needed. So if you attain something psychologically, that is a hindrance. That is a block for your natural flow. So psychological structure must be like a living river. It must flow. Each and every moment some experience may come. The next moment what experience came must go. So that is the natural, then only our psychological structure must be a flowing nature, just like a flowing river. So, but the yoga process alone, you have to set you something, you have to design you something. But here you have to dismiss all your design, you have to dismiss all your conditioning. You should not catch hold of anything. You have to put down everything. There is nothing to attain, nothing to retain. So you must be open. For that, no philosophy is necessary. If you want to have any philosophy or theory, it has to help to reach the level, to the level of understanding that you need nothing. So that is the final thing. For that, we may not practice anything.
Is this according to our karma? So, because some people go this path and some people not. So, is it also according to our karma?
So, karma is not related to the mind. Karma is related to your day-to-day life situation. For example, according to your karma, you have to be at Tiruvannamalai this time. According to your karma, you have to be somewhere. According to your karma, you may have some food or anything. According to your karma, you may have a better house or some worse house. That is your karma. But it is psychological matter, does not relate to the karma. If it is related to the karma, then nobody will be liberated, nobody will be enlightened. So it is purely different. Even though the situation may be good or bad related to the karma, that is different. But you are always, our psychological structure is always free. Only because of our adamant nature alone, we are taking hold of something. So catching hold of something alone is the problem. For that we should be open, we must be free. என்னுடைய போன தான் ஆஃப் அன் ஹவர் வந்துட்டேன். ஆஃப் பண்ணு. Karma is only situation. Some good situation or bad situation is related to only situations are related to karma. But
We have to
psychological,
undergo it. We have to undergo it. Even if it's there, so it's just.
for that you need not undergo all the thing designed to you. Karma is something different. For example, if you do some good karma, good deed, you will have some good situation. If you do some bad deeds, you will be placed in a bad situation. But it is not a punishment, it is not a reward. For example, some bad situation may give you the chance for enlightenment and liberation. So, if the bad situation has the power of inducement to go to liberation and enlightenment, can we call the bad situation as a bad? It may be good. So, we cannot judge this is bad, this is good. But at the same time, generally, some bad karma create bad situation, good karma create good situation. That is the general rule. But some exception may be there. Sometimes some bad situation may be good in some respect. Some good situation may be bad in some other respect. So we need not be, there is no established rule for that. So it varies according to circumstances, according to our requirement. So some powers may be there behind the maintenance of karma, some powers may be there, some higher powers may be there, but the powers may look into the necessary things. But everything is helpful for our end. So the main end is the liberation and the enlightenment. For that, our karma may be helpful. Our karma will not disturbing anything. So all karma is designed in favor of our destination. No karma is against our destination. So we have to take in a positive way. So actually our karma is helping to attain the liberation and the enlightenment. So the main thing is the liberation is disturbed, the enlightenment disturbed only because of our adamant nature. Because we are not open. When we are open, the matter is very simple and easy. But when we catch hold of something, this I want, this I don't want, I must attain something, I must retain something. When you become adamant like this, so it is related. The flowing of everything will become later.
So will be silence and meditation be helpful
For the beginners.
only for beginners?
Yeah. But don't be the beginners for the years together. 1 or 2 years are enough. But more than 3 years is waste of time.
that an example that you gave yesterday, and it wasn't very clear for me. You gave the example about if you feel like I go to a friend and it makes me, because I feel it will make me happy, it's okay in a way. But if I decide to go and meditate in order to change my sensation, it's wrong. And I'm not exactly sure if I understand it correctly. What I say is what you meant, and if so, I don't see exactly what's the difference in between these situations.
For example, if you are living in a convenient house, you may be happy. So if you are living in an inconvenient house, it will not be happy. You will not be happy. So you can select a house, select a situation, thereby you can be happy. For that, you have to arrange things, arrange the situation. But doing meditation is not arranged thing. It is only purely intended to create some happiness within yourself. But in the situation, you are not trying to create any situation. So living in a room, meeting a friend, so it will give you a good circumstances. So creating a circumstances is different, but at the same time, creating an emotion is different. But the good sensation is, we are trying to create some good sensation about. That is different.
Yes.
But here, if if you are interested to have some meditation, have some silence, we are going for a walk, and this is health for health also, and for some psychological also, we may have some feel some relaxed. So in this manner, we can do meditation also, but we should not connect the meditation to the enlightenment liberation. Without connecting it to the liberation enlightenment, for entertainment, you can entertain yourself. Because there is, for example, we are switch on TV or any music, just entertainment itself. There is no necessity to arrange the circumstances. Just for entertainment. For some relaxation, you can do like this. But we are not connecting the music and the enlightenment. So in this way, if you are interested to do meditation, I feel very good. When you do meditation, you can do meditation, doesn't matter. But we should not connect the matter to the enlightenment liberation. So enlightenment liberation is different. Where we are free, everything, we have to accept everything, open-hearted, we must be childlike, because we are not expecting anything. Whatever comes, we go along with that. So psychologically, we must be like that. We must be totally open.
Decision, choices in the external world, based on something that I want. Okay, and give an example. Maybe there is some activity that needs to be done, or but the inner feeling doesn't really feel this way at the moment. There's naturally something that can be lazy at this moment. It can be passionate for something else, and at that moment there may be a conflict between what is the right decision. Sometimes it's a necessity, and then you have to do it. But sometimes it's not very clear, and then some conflict is created between the action that needs to be done and the inner state.
So here, we have to understand the difference between mind and intellect. The mind means we have some demand. I want this, I don't want this, some desire. Based upon desire, our mind will wandering, selecting something, I want this, I don't want that. So, but intellect is not mind. So, even though it is mind, we can understand the role of the intellect. The intellect is the deciding factor. And the mind is the wandering nature, having wandering nature. The intellect is the deciding factor of our mind. So, the intellect is select, this is good, I have to do that work. But our mind is not ready to follow the decision. And I want some relaxation, I have some other manner, it is very bored down work. So mind may say like that. So here, the role of the intellect is to show the way along. If the intellect takes a role of the mind and repeatedly saying, I have to do like this, I have to do like this, then the mind, the intellect also takes the role of the mind. So here, the role of the intellect is as to pointing out the way along. Then it will be silent, then it has to be silent. Then the entire role will be shifted to the mind. If it is follow, it will be right. If it does not follow, nothing, some good will not happen. So we should not be very adamant to get the good along. So we have to decide, we have to do the good thing. Then only we have to even forget the thing also. The mind, naturally, we think if you behave like this, no good work will not happen. But if you behave like this, that we are not give importance to the success of our work. The work may fail, we may think like that. But naturally, it will not happen. Because when we decide like this, some way or other, the mind will come into the help of the decision of the intellect. Slowly, for example, some box are there with the weight of 50 kilogram weight. Some box is there. So when you want to take the box, the energy will come to the hand to take the box. So before that, no energy will be there. But whenever you want to take the box, the energy will come to our hands. But when the work is over, the energy will go away from you. So in this way, when the intellect decides this is the good work, this is the best work we have to attend, and it will not repeatedly saying like that this is the good work I have to do, the matter is over. But afterwards, some way or other, the mind will cooperate with the intelligence and it will take some energy, it will create some energy for itself to do the work. So we should not deliberately try to create some energy here. It is not necessary. But the decision-making part, that is the intellect. The intellect has to understand this is the good work they have to do. Then then you need not repeatedly saying like this. If you repeatedly saying like this, then it is not intellect. Then it will take the role of the mind itself. So once we have decided, then you need not worry about the execution of the work. The execution will happen naturally. You need not worry about the execution. But the role of the intellect is to what we have to do. Some laziness may be there, some boredom may be there. But if you understand the work is a good one, you have to attend one, and the very understanding that the work must be done, naturally the necessary energy will come. The necessary transformation will take.
What happens if the intellect is not very clear? Sometimes it's very clear what is the right thing and it's very clear what you said. But sometimes there is some hesitation. What is it right? Is it not right? Probably it's the mind. It's not that makes this. And then there is again conflict.
So here the intellect has to decide alone, but it should not demand. When the intellect demands like this, then it takes the role of the mind. So the intellect has to understand. So this is the good one we have to do. The pointing the way alone is the role of the intellect. If the intellect wants to place some demand, I want this, I don't want that, then it takes the role of the mind. So the intellect has to behave as the intellect alone. It has to decide like this. It should not take the role of the mind. If the intellect is pure, then it will show you the way alone. It will not place any demand. I must attain, I must get, I must execute. Then it takes the role of the mind.
You see, my question is not necessarily about demand, it's about this clarity that not necessarily exists at the moment about what is the right thing to do.
So there may be some choice. There is this whether I select this one or that one. And then we have either you have to select it because but you may not be clarity. You may not have the necessary clarity, but it doesn't matter. To the available clarity you can act. That is itself is enough. But at the same time, along with the clarity, you should not place any demand for that. Without demanding for that, you must place the clarity alone. This is the good and I have to select this one. The matter is over. Afterwards, our mind will support.
So, for example, if I have worries or in the mind it happens unconsciously, and at some point awareness comes to the situation, and there is a realization that seeing that the worries is there, and question is if the fact that I see worries as something bad or what should be again the attitude here? I don't want to look at it as something bad, but the moment I see it as something unnecessary or not really useful, and I wonder if you can say how should I address it without really resisting it, because worry for me seems to be something which is very unuseful and unneeded, so it's bad in a way.
So all our worries are related to some external matter. There should not be any worry for itself will not be there. It may have some connection with the external things. But related to the external world, we have to do. For that, the worry may be an inducement. Then only if you have some worry, for example, you are doing some business, and we will have some problem in the business. And the business is not proper, then worry may come. So with the help of the worry alone, you have to separate the business. If you do not worry, if you don't have any tension in your mind, you will not attempt the work. So you have to take it positively to the external world. But in itself, worry in itself, we need not regulate, we need not have any work. We have to take it as a natural. Whoever will be in the same position will have the same response like this. We should not unwanted thing came. We should not take it as an unwanted thing came here. It is a natural thing. We have to give total freedom to the happening of the worry. When we give total freedom to the worry, it will blossom and it will go away. So when you resist the worry, it becomes strength.
So at certain times a worry can be useful, at certain times.
But in the external world it is useful.
Yeah, but also at a certain point of the day it's useful because I can do something about it. But if I try to just get some sleep or I'm in a place where I cannot do anything about it, then
So
at that moment it
when
seems.
it is not useful to the external world, then you may not take the matter to the external world. So afterward, then it is purely psychological. There is no relationship to, for the example, some bad thing has happened. The matter is over. You have nothing to do with the incident. But even that, if the matter is over, you may have the repeated thought about the same thing. But you need not worry about the thing. It will be like this, or whoever will be in this position, like you will have the same thought like this, same worry like this. You will take it as the natural. And moreover, here not only the worry, the personality I am, the self, it is also happening. Not only the worry, the I am is also, it is also a kind of experience. And as the worry is an experience, the sorrow is an experience, the experiencer is also an experience. It is also happening like this. But whenever we try to control the worries, we are giving total freedom to the controller. But thereby the controller survives. And but you have to give total freedom to the total thing. We should not give importance to the controller to control the worries. Then here we have to give total freedom to the natural happening, whether it is in the form of I am, whether it is in the form of worry. It might be total experience. Totally some experience is going on. We have to be open with that. Nothing to do. So whenever we want to do something, the control becomes powerful. So when you divide your experience into two parts, the one part is in war with the other part. So it's unnecessary. We are enriching the problem. We are giving power to the problem. And this is also a kind of understanding the fact of the functioning of our mind. But this understanding, but we should not catch hold of this understanding. We cannot wage war again on the foundation of this understanding. But when you understand, the matter is over. But you need not execute this understanding. You need not do. But after finding this understanding, you have to give up all the work. Even though whether worry may be there, even the I am may be there, even the duality may be there, let it be like this, like the happening. So whatever may be in the mind, let it be a happening. Maybe a wrong doing may be there, right doing may be there. May want to follow the principle, not following the principle. Whatever, everything is one. But we have to understand what is the process of problem. But we need not execute the understanding. So we are discussing, we are finding what is happening there, and we have some understanding about the nature of the problem. But at the same time, we should not make use of the understanding to wage war with ourselves. Psychologically, we must give freedom to that. If something happens against our understanding, let it happen like this. Because we have no work there. You have to give total freedom to that. Either good thing may happen, bad thing may happen, some foolish thing may happen. Even though it functions foolish, let it be foolish like this. We have to give total freedom to that. No work is there.
Yeah, I find myself exactly what you said today, and also you said it more about understanding the philosophy and then throw them away.
And understanding the philosophy means to understanding your level, the philosophy is good. After that, whenever I try to execute the understanding, then only the philosophy becomes a poison.
Yeah, exactly. What I find myself, for example, trying to apply this understanding or having this mantra that there's nothing wrong, there's nothing wrong. So I wonder if it's a matter of bringing this understanding to everyday life, or is it again trying to apply this understanding?
Trying to apply the understanding is the problem. So all philosophies are good to the external world, but no philosophy is good to the psychological world. Psychological world, all philosophies are wrong. We have to put down all the philosophies. We must behave like an ignorant person. We must behave like an idiot. Psychologically, we have to behave like an idiot. We should not be a wise man. You may be a wise man to the external world, to each and every work, you have to be a wise man. You have to be intelligent. But psychologically, you must be foolish.
That is the intelligent decision. That is the intelligent decision. Being foolish is an intelligent decision.
Sorry.
I've been using discrimination in Vedanta, Viveka, and also your suggestions from last year. And my experience is that life feels a bit ghostly. It's a bit, I'm not particularly here, I'm not very interested in things out there. It's hard to see the benefit. Is it that I must just keep letting go, or yes, it just feels a bit, I feel like a puppet, and it's, in some ways I prefer the ignorance of being a person. So, any advice, Ayya?
So here, we have some problem in the mind, and we know only the problem alone. But we are unaware of the personality to deal with the problem. The personality, the person who is dealing with the problem is also a kind of experience. Just like the other worries or any emotions, the I am is also a kind of emotion. So everything is an emotion. It comes and goes, just like everything. The I am is also comes and goes. So psychologically, there is no permanent thing. It is a flowing nature. It comes and goes. All experience are coming and going. So that is the nature of the mind. So here, some experience comes in the name of worries or sorrow, fear, and some experience in the name of I am. The I am is also a kind of experience. But we think the I am is not an experience, but the I am is having some several experience. That alone experience, I am not an experience. But I am is also a kind of experience. Everything is an experience, and all experience comes and goes. There cannot be any permanent experience. No experience will not last for more than a fraction of a second. Each and every fraction, new experience alone has to come. There cannot be any old experience. All experience has to come, all emotion has to come afresh. Newly, everything has to come. So it is going. But we are unnecessarily giving life to the I am, and the I am is trying to control the other experience. That is, there is no necessity to divide our emotions into two parts. One as I am, the other as the emotion of the I am. So, basically we have to understand like this. Afterwards, we have to give total freedom to the psychological structure. Whatever may be, some good thing may happen, some bad thing may happen, we have no work. Let it be natural, because we are not creating it. If you are creating for yourself, you will create only good thing alone. But some bad thing happens, then it has to come on its own. So whatever comes in our mind has come on its own. We are not responsible for anything. So we have to put down all the responsibility, because it's beyond our control, beyond our calculation. It comes naturally. So when you take the total psychological structure as a natural happening, it will come and go naturally. So we should not place any hand to separate anything in the psychological world. So we have to understand it is beyond our control, beyond ourselves. That alone is enough.
Thank you.
You differentiate between the mind and the intellect. I just wonder about how exactly you define this difference. The mind is basically a bunch of thoughts, and the intellect, as I understand it, also basically a thought.
Everything is thought.
So what is...
But this is related only to the external world, not related to the psychological world. So the discussion between the intellect and mind is related to the external world. But in the psychological world, there is no classification between mind and intellect. Everything is mind. Even though the intellect takes the role, it is also mind. There is no division between the intellect and mind. Psychologically, everything is one. There is no intellect is there. Mind alone is there. Even though it takes the role of the intellect, it is also mind. So there is no intellect. In psychological world is concerned, it is out and out mind alone. There is no intellect. But in the external world, external situation alone is concerned, we have to divide our mind into two parts. One is mind, another one is intellect. So intellect is wisdom, and it is mind is some wandering nature, some person, the entity to demand with some demand, good thing, demand for good, rejecting bad. So that is the nature of the mind, wandering nature. But the intellect, it has some ways, some intelligent. It will show the correct way according to its capacity. So that is the related to the external world.
A different topic here. In some places, like at Pundi, Mahasamadhi, I find that just very strong for meditation, and usually after going there, I feel clearer or some understanding moves. I don't believe in God as such, but is the company of great gurus like Tuli Baba, or is this helpful, or how does it help in this process, or does it?
So here, when we are doing some meditation, some good energy field may come, some silence may come. So thereby we can have some control for the time being. So in this way, when you meet some enlightened persons or some samadhi or anything, then we have some energy field. We can have some contact with some energy field. Thereby for the time being you will be all right. But it is not a salvation. It is not the permanent solution. But the permanent solution is that you have to give total freedom to yourself. If some good thing may come, bad thing may come, then when in this matter, some good, whether the good energy may come or bad energy may come, you don't mind that. So even when some good energy comes, you don't mind that. So here, you have to submit yourself. So the submission must happen. So whenever you reject everything, when we demand something, there will not be any submission. So when you give total freedom to everything in the psychological world, then only you will have some submission. Submission, you are submitting yourself to the natural happening of your mind. So when you take everything in your hands, then you are not submitting yourself. So in the psychological world is concerned, you have to submit yourself. You should not, when you demand something with the help of some philosophy or anything, then you are trying to wage war. You are not, no submission is happening. So the submission must happen. Only because of the submission alone, the transformation, liberation, everything follows the submission. Then only the liberation will be there. The enlightenment, flowing, the awakening, everything will happen only after the submission of yourself. But you will not submit yourself, then you have some philosophy. I will do for myself, I won't submit. So you have to put down everything and you have to submit to the natural flow of conscious happening.
Thank you.
I think that might be required for the beginning period for some time, and afterwards they need to be dropped. But why in the first place they are needed, and how would you know, okay, it's time to drop them? What is this?
So if you do not follow this kind of yoga, you will solve the external problem in a different way. You will take to liquor or anything. So in this way, you cannot face the external problem. Then you will have some other way to have some solution for yourself. You will not separate your worry, separate your fear. Then we will add some liquor or some drugs. So it will take like this. But for that, you will have this kind of yoga or anything. Then you can calm down yourself. You can have some good one peace of mind. Thereby you can undertake some work in this external world in a peaceful mind. So you can get peace of mind through yoga and meditation. Through meditation and everything, you can have the peace of mind. But the getting peace of mind is only for the beginners. But afterwards, you have to give you should not select even peace itself. You have to give total freedom to you. You have to accept even the torturing mind itself. You have to accept the worries itself. You have to accept the fear itself. You will not. But instead of that, if you are doing some meditation to be kept yourself in a peaceful situation alone, then you are protected yourself against fear and sorrow. But when you are open, the fear, sorrow will come away and go away from you. It will not stay there. But we think if you allow fear and sorrow, it will be always stay with us. We are thinking like that, but it will not stay with us. It will go away and it will very soon vacate us.
I find I have this belief in it's very clear that meditation won't bring me to this liberation, but it does bring some peace, and this peace brings more, the understanding becomes more clear in a way, because if my mind is busy with drinking and smoking, then probably the same thing that I will hear won't make any effect. And the more peace I come, and the more with meditation, then this understanding makes much more sense. And there is a belief that if I do it even more, then the understanding will sink even more. So is there a problem with this belief?
But here we will prepare ourselves to an extent, but at the same time we have to give up. But here we are having some work to separate ourselves. But whenever we try to separate ourselves, our work is going on. So here there is no work. Psychologically there is no work. But we are taking some work. So this work is not necessary. Then whenever we submit ourselves, then only the liberation will be there. So here we are generate some kind of emotion, some kind of experience. We are creating some experience. But natural experience is not a created experience. It is a happening. But here we are creating some experience. Through meditation or anything, we are creating some experience. But the natural liberation and enlightenment is different. Where all experience happens on its own, but when we give total freedom to that, it blossoms and disappears. So there is a difference.
Yeah, I understand that there's still like, okay, I will be more prepared, and if I do it, I'd be even more prepared, you know? It's like something, because, okay, I'm here, it's not like, there's still a lot of things going on, and a feeling that I'm not there, even though that I understand what you said, but still it's, there's this belief. And so this meditation brings me to a place where if I do more meditation, then I'll be more prepared and the understanding will come even deeper.
But understanding has no connection with the meditation. Understanding is because of our some problem in our psychological world or anything. So repeatedly you are trying and repeatedly you are failing. So thereby we have some understanding that all our effort is waste of energy. Thereby we can prove our experience. So experience like this, we can easily understand that we cannot fight with our mind. But if we create some energy field through meditation, then we will feel some safe and we'll be all right. We will not think anything, we will not take any problem. So we keep ourselves without any problem. And actually our problem alone will give the strength to go away from the problem. But here we will not have any problem. When you are in the meditation, you will not have any problem. Then you will be safe. But at the same time, whenever you have a real problem, you may have some circumstances, you will have some problem. So during that problem, you cannot even sit for meditation itself. Then that is another problem. But if you are normal, if the situation is normal, if everything is good, then you can sit for meditation, you can create some energy field. But the situation is worse, you cannot do meditation itself. But the liberation, the enlightenment is not so. It will be very powerful when the situation is very worst.
When we are going about daily life, to what degree do we choose that? Because the psychological is just happening anyway, we have no choice there. To what extent do we choose what happens in the world?
So yesterday also we are taking the sensory organs. And all our organs are, each and every moment it is new. Our ears cannot listen to the old sound. Moment by moment it is new. Our eyesight will see only the fresh vision. We cannot see the old vision. Moment by moment it is new, it is functioning new. But our mind alone is having some repetition. This repetitive process will go away. So during the liberation, it comes and goes. We are not demanding anything. We do not have any demand to retain some good thing and remove some bad thing. So there is no demand. So it will function like other sensory organ. So then only our mind becomes healthy. Becoming healthy is the healthy mind. Having the healthy mind is the result of our enlightenment liberation. The mind must be healthy. It should not be unhealthy. That is the...
Sure. But when I wonder if I am to allow my mind to be free. During the day here, I don't, therefore I won't meditate. I might go for a chai, I might read a bit, I might do laundry. It's just daily life? Do I choose what to do to encourage or to learn to let my mind be free? Do I avoid being preoccupied in life, seeing friends, being busy, computer? Do you understand?
So here, external world, we have some work. So only we are doing some work only for our convenience. We will not have, if the work is inconvenient, we will not engage the work. We will follow the necessary intent for our work is to give some convenience for our living. So to that extent we can do some work externally. But at the same time, there are many problems in our day-to-day life. Thereby it reflects in our mind as a sorrow, suffering, some happiness. Many things may come. But the problem is that if you are psychologically free, you will have some different strand. You will have some different kind of platform whereby you can attend the. But even though you have become enlightened and liberated, the world will not change. You will have to live in the same world. You have to go to the same shop for tea. You have to go to the same laundry for your work, or same work for your computer. The world will be again same. But psychologically, your platform will be changed. Your approach will be changed.
Sorry to keep asking, I'm not being clear. Is there a way I should live day to day here in Tiru to help me allow my mind to be free?
What he is saying?
திருவண்ணாமலை வாழ்றது வந்து ஹெல்ப் பண்ணுறதுக்கு மைண்ட் ஃப்ரீ ஆகிறதுக்கு அப்போ நான் திருவண்ணாமலை வாழ மாதிரி இங்கே
So here, mind is always free, but only because of ourselves, we are disturbing the happening of our mind. We have no place to disturb the mind. Whether you are in Tiruvannamalai or whether you are in England, the atmosphere is same. But only you feel, you may have some idea that it is the situation is good, the problem, the situation around you may be convenient to you are handling the thing. But it is your approach. Thereby you are giving importance to the Tiruvannamalai, the living Tiruvannamalai, you are giving importance to that. Then only it responds like that. But here, the main thing is that whatever idea you are having to your mind alone is important. So here, some good response may come to your mind, some bad response may come to your mind. But if you don't mind your response, then wherever you are, there is no difference. You may, in your mind, some bad response may come to you, but there is no difference between good response and bad response. But whenever you differentiate good and bad in your psychological happenings, then you may select some good atmosphere. But if you don't mind the psychological response, then you don't mind the external world also. But the external world is also to a certain extent you can, but at the same time you cannot live in a dangerous place. You have to avoid the thing. But the main thing, the deciding factor is your psychological happenings. If you don't mind the psychological happening, the external world is a secondary one. You can very easily manage the secondary world.
Thanks. Renounce God, be God. Yesterday. Thank you. I liked how unexciting realization is. He said, no singing, no dancing. Yesterday I asked about is there an evolution to this letting your mind be free? And it's called Renounce God, Be God. That suggests that if I submit to my mind, there is a divine sense of being in the world, where there is no experiencer or experience, there's just experiencing. Is that what you mean, or what's it like for you?
So actually, the God or Atman is only our consciousness. Our consciousness is the Atman, our consciousness is the God. Both are same. So here, for example, if I want to know the thing one, I have to touch there, I have to touch this one, and I can touch and feel the quality of this one. But at the same time, I have some wound here, I can have a wound. If you want to know the wound, I need not touch the wound. The wound itself will show it is there. It itself, the self-evident nature. What is having the self-evident nature is known as the consciousness. The consciousness is alone, is having the self-expression, self-evident nature. It will not, this one will not experience itself. So we have to touch this, then only we can know something. But what is related to the consciousness will know itself, it feel itself. No other external agency is necessary to create the feeling. So it itself will feel. So whatever is feeling itself is consciousness. The natural, the feeling itself, the expressing itself is it is the consciousness. The consciousness has the capacity to feel itself, to experience itself. So the Atman alone is the capacity to have the feeling itself. We need not feel the Atman. The Atman itself will feel the Atman. The God itself will feel the God. We cannot, if you feel God, it is not God. Whatever it creates itself. So if you touch I touch the wound, thereby I can understand the wound, that is not the thing. The wound has to feel itself. The wound has to express its pain. Through pain itself, it will have the capacity. So the touching the wound is not correct. The feeling, it is not the correct feeling of the wound. The wound has to feel itself. So the consciousness is the main thing of Atman or God. The consciousness itself is God. The consciousness itself is Atman. But what is the problem here is that, for example, I touch fire. The next moment I feel hot in our hand. When we put our hand in ice water, I will feel cold in our hand. So why is this sensation of hot and cold? Is it in the fire, or is it in the water, or is it in the hand? There is no sensation in the fire and water. The sensation is only in the hand. But if anybody asks you, what is the sensory capacity, sensory nature, what kind of sensory nature our hand is having? And whether we answer, it will be always hot, it will be always cold. So one time it becomes hot, the next moment it is become cold. So moment by moment it differs. But it is consciousness. The hot is also a kind of consciousness, the cold is also a kind of consciousness. But moment by moment it is different. But if it is constantly same, then only it is the nature of our hand. So what is the nature of our hand? What is beyond the capacity of the feeling, the hot and cold, is the sensitivity of our hand. That is the common to both, hot and cold. That pure sensitivity is known as the pure Atma. That the pure sensitivity is the God. But the pure sensitivity, we need not understand, we cannot feel the pure sensitivity. We can feel only the expression of the sensitivity. The sensitivity, we cannot feel the sensitivity. The sensitivity is the base. That is the God, that is the Atma. That is the real consciousness. But the real consciousness, nobody can feel. Whenever we feel something, it is only the expression. The real sensitivity expresses itself into some kind of expression, then only we can feel. Our consciousness expresses itself in the form of bodily sensation, psychological sensation. Everything is the expression of the Atma. Everything is the expression of the God. But the God in itself is not an expression. But if we select, if you think, we have the special kind of expression as God, special kind of expression as Atman. There is no such thing like that. But it is the basic of all expression. It is the basic structure of all our consciousness. But in itself, it is the substratum or the basic structure of our consciousness. But it will be expressed in the form of bodily sensation, psychological sensation. Everything is the expression of God. Everything is the expression of the Atma. But apart from that, we should not expect some different kind of sensation from the Atma. So that is not necessary.
Do we can't experience the Atman?
So experience the Atma means all experience is the experience of Atma.
Yeah.
All experience of Atma. But apart from this experience, if you select some special kind of experience from Atman, there cannot be any such kind of experience. Whatever you feel in special kind of experience, it is also kind of one another experience. Just like bodily experience, it is another kind of experience. But it is not the pure state of, it is not the pure.
But can you can't experience it, but can you understand that everything is it? You can know it, or it can know itself.
No, there is no kind of. But here, what we are doing is only some limited portion of the total consciousness is claiming something. I want some oneness experience or anything. This is only part of the experience around saying like that. I want the total experience. The part around claims the total experience. The total does not claim the total experience. Only the part. But the part may, doing some meditation or anything, it may have some experience. But it is also kind of experience, it is not the real oneness. So for the time being, you may feel everything is one, everything it may feel. It is also kind of another experience. Experience through the mind. For example, when you look in a small mirror, you can capture the entire mountain. But it is only a small experience, it is not the mountain. In this way, our limited experience have some vision like that. For the time being, it will be like that. It is only the experience of the mind. It is not the reality. It is only the expression of the mind. Doing some meditation or anything, there are several kind of experience. One kind of experience is the feeling of oneness. It is not the great one.
I have a question about something that I notice happen quite frequently with how I perceive suffering or some struggle inside, and how naturally I see it's happening. So I wonder if it, as you see, in your view, there's a problem with it. Like, whenever there is some struggle, usually there's something that happens unconsciously, and then there's some awareness that comes to this, and usually just see it in a different perspective, or seeing why I call it suffering, or why the struggle is there, and they usually just dissolve this way. I don't know if it's something that I do deliberately, but it just happens in a way. But my question if I need to just even not to think as this struggle as a problem in the first place, and not needed to do anything about it.
So without reason, some struggle may be there. You mean like that?
Yeah, some.
No external situation. The external situation, it is not related to any external situation.
Psychological. Yeah. Psychological struggle. Not related to external world. And when there is awareness to this, because it's uncomfortable, or that moment there's some awareness that comes to this. Okay, what's going on here? And when looking at this, there's some clarity of and it dissolves in a way. But the question if this struggle is in the first place there is my view of it as something which is a problem is not necessary.
So whatever it may be, some feeling, the feeling is not good. Some emotion is coming, some emotion is going on. We think the emotion is not correct. It was not a good one. So here, we have the feeling in the way, the other way, some entity is also there to decide to execute something against the thing, against the happening. So the entity, some stuff I am, is doing something against its own experience, own happening. So here, the entity is also a thing. Just like the experiencer also a experience. Actually, everything is a psychological experience. Whenever we have some thought, the thought has some division of like that. Each and every moment, for example, you are dreaming. In the dreaming, can you dream without you? Whatever, there are many segments each and every dream. Each and every moment, if you take any segment of your dream, in the segment, you'll be there. You'll be there, and you will face some problem, or you may feel related to some friends or some other situation. You'll be there. So here, each and every moment, a single thought is there. So the dream and thought is not different. The thought coming during the sleep is dream, considered to be dream. But in the waking hours, we are considering it as thought. But dream and thought is same. But in the waking hours also, each and every thought is really natural. In each segment of your thought, the I am is there, the experience is also there. It is really natural. So in this way, whenever we have some problem in your mind, or some emotion in your mind, or some experience in your mind, the experience may be some uncomfortable. But at the same time, the experiencer feel it is uncomfortable. So here, both are experience. The person who is feeling uncomfortable is also an experience. The feeling of uncomfortable is also an experience. Both are experience. But what we have to do in this time is that it is also natural. We have to submit ourselves to the natural happening of our mind. So if you are totally submit yourself to the natural happening of our mind, because we are not bringing the happening, it comes on its own. So it may have some reason for that, or may not have some reason, but it comes, it is happening. We have no work. So whenever, if we find some work against that, then we will do some work. But if you do some work to deal with the situation, deal with the happening, for time being it will be helpful, but it is not a permanent remedy or solution. But if you give total freedom to that, we have no work here, if you find no work there, then there will be natural transformation. Then everything will be flowing. So even whenever we try to have a control over the happenings of our mind, then So life after life, you have to have the same war within yourself. But when you stop war within yourself, the war will be ended naturally. So you have to accept ourselves wholeheartedly. I may be wrong sometimes, I may be good sometimes, I may be in a worst conditions for sometimes. That is natural. We are not creating the scene. It comes naturally. So we have to accept it as a natural world. So whenever you accept you as a total thing, as a natural thing, it will find its own place, find its own remedy for itself. It will not stay there forever. It will solve itself. It will have some technique for itself to solve itself. But whenever we find a technique to solve itself, we have to repeatedly find the technique to fight with that.
We need to understand that we don't have freedom. So we need to understand that we don't have freedom. So that is liberation. So any thoughts, any feelings can come and attack us. We can't put restriction. So we don't have control, we don't have freedom. Once you understand we don't have freedom, we are in freedom.
Yesterday also we were discussing that the root cause of all our problems is that we try to create a psychological world for ourselves, and we try to establish a separate entity and try to maintain that entity in a good state and want to attain something for that entity. So the whole struggle happens because we create a psychological world and we want to establish that entity. And once we are able to understand that this whole process is the root cause of all inner conflicts and struggles, then we drop all such efforts. So is that the way to come to this total clarity of enlightenment? That way we simply put down all our efforts and allow the psychological functioning to flow like a river.
So here we have to understand that the understanding will be helpful if the understanding leads us to know that we have no work. So if the understanding gives some scope for our work, so the understanding is it has some problem.
Is faulty.
Yeah, it is not good understanding.
Yesterday's discussion I found it very helpful, because once we completely drop this creating a psychological world, then what is left is simply the natural world, the real world which we face moment to moment. So whatever we face in that particular moment, that situation brings a certain reaction within us, and our intellect is clear enough to act according to the situation. So we don't carry the burden of a psychological world and to maintain a separate entity. So all those burdens are completely dropped. So what is left is moment to moment facing life as it happens. Is that a right approach?
In Ramana Maharshi's Who Am I inquiry, there's a sense of going to a point where the self, the Atman, shines forth. Is that wrong then? I can't connect that with...
So here, if you focus your attention, because we feel I am.
Yeah.
There is no difference. Everybody can feel I am. If you focus your attention to that I am and abide in that I am consciousness, and you place your attention entirely and you rest yourself totally in that I am, it begins to vibrate. We have some different kind of vibration, different kind of energy field. So some vibration will be there. So it is a yoga, again it is a yoga process. And thereby you can feel okay. But it is not, whenever you do like this, you will be okay. But if you do not do like this, you will not be okay. You will be once again, you will be in the old way. But actually each and every moment, we are having the sensation as I am, just like a psychological I am. Always we are having the experience as I am. But here what we are trying to say is that you give total freedom to that I am. Let it be like that. It may take any role. Sometimes it may be happy, sometimes it may be unhappy. But you give total freedom to the I am. For example, if you go to some other house, you cannot straight away go to all the rooms. You can go enter into the hall alone, and then you can ask the permission to enter any room. But in your own house, you can go anywhere in a house, any room you can enter. You are free. So in this way, you give total freedom to the I am. You can act any way. If you give total freedom to the I am, it will become silent. It will take the different role. So whenever you restrict yourself, I must be like that, I should not be like that, then you are restricted. You have some burden. So if you give total freedom to the I am, there will be no burden for yourself. You are liberated. So that you must liberate the I am. The liberation is related to the I am. The I am has to liberate itself. There should not be any burden. You can't do anything. If you give total freedom to the I am, then you can do anything. Whatever you do, it is correct. Then you take like that, then it will have some effect on. It will be the natural happening. Then it will not take any burden to solve anything. So you are always correct. Whatever you do, you are correct. So if you give total freedom to that, then the matter is over.
Yeah, that means that psychologically, at any moment, we can be just as we are, without any effort to change ourselves, to decorate or modify. We can allow ourselves to be just as we are psychologically. Is that why Buddha called that state as nirvana?
So nirvana is the liberation. When we allow everything, then you are flowing. So when you place some burden, it is suppressed. So you are in a suppressed state. So when you are put down when you do not impose any restriction, if you do not give any burden to that, if you do not give any responsibility to that, it is free. It is free to move. It is flowing. Be free to flow. The flowing nature of our mind is liberation. That is nirvana. When we impose some restriction, I must do this thing, I should not do this thing. So psychologically, externally you may be restricted. You may be restricted to move something. But psychologically, we should not have any restriction. We must be totally free. Whatever we do, it is correct. There is no wrong. It is natural.
For example, if I compare this give freedom to your emotions with the physical situation. For example, a terrorist is there and the hostage. I have been caught in the hands of terrorists. So he creates pain. So I come and ask solution to you how to get rid of this terrorist. So you say that give freedom to terrorists. So how much pain let him create? Let him create. In due course, you may become friend with the terrorist. Hostage and terrorist will become friend. And there will be a smooth condition will be there. That's what you are trying to say.
So it is physical.
Physically, I am comparing the terrorist with emotion. So when a pain emotion comes, I come and I ask you how to get rid of
Your analogy takes the psychological.
Yeah. So so when pain comes, I come and say to you how to get rid of this pain, this terrorist, and you say that allow freedom to terrorists.
So who is terrorist here?
Pain, emotion.
Pain is not the terrorist. Our philosophy are the terrorists. We are having many philosophies. Our philosophy takes the role of the terrorist. We have to do this thing, we should not do that thing. They impose something, some burden upon ourselves. But here we have to be free. The terrorists, there should not be any terrorists.
So the terrorist, yeah, the philosophy is not there. The pain is the terrorist here. So because of pain, I seek philosophy. So I come to and ask you, I want to get rid of pain, I want to get rid of terrorist.
So here, only because of the philosophy alone, we are having the pain.
Pain.
Otherwise, no pain is there. So if there is no terrorism, no pain will be there. First of all, some situation gives us pain. After philosophy takes the role of giving pain.
No, initially there is a pain. Philosophy multiplies the pain.
So
Initially I am without philosophy only. There is certain amount of pain is there. To address that I bring philosophy, and this philosophy multiplies this pain.
So anyway, it supports in favor of pain.
Yeah. But originally there is some unit of pain.
So whenever the philosophy comes, it takes the role of giving pain.
Yeah. It multiplies the pain. But first time I brought this philosophy only to address this pain. Otherwise, why I am going to bring this philosophy?
So here, anyway, the situation may be like this, but afterwards we invite the philosophy to set right the pain, and only because of invitation of the philosophy comes, and it takes the role of doing mischief.
Okay, so the philosophy multiplies the pain, so we remove the philosophy, so the multiplication of pain goes.
So here, we have to be free. The person who is suppressed by the situation or by the philosophy must be free. That means we have to give total freedom to the I am. The I am is the process, everything. And the I am is taking the philosophy in one hand, taking the situation in another hand. But here, whenever it takes some responsibility to do something, it is suppressed. So when we put down everything, it must liberate itself without any suppression. So it easily flow. The I am has to flow easily.
So again, I am starting from the beginning. So initially, as a 21-year, as a intelligence develops as a human being. So I have some pain due to external world or something. So to address that pain, I bring philosophy. So initially there is a pain. So to address this pain, I bring philosophy. So only then philosophy multiplies this pain. So now we are asking to drop the philosophy. So that's what you are trying to say.
Okay.
So the original pain will be there as it is.
So here, actually, only because of a resistance to the situation, we have some pain. The resistance, some resistance, whenever there is pain, some resistance must be there.
Mm-hmm.
When we resist with the situation, we are having some pain. So our philosophy does not teach us the freedom. It also gives chances to resistance. I must be like that, I should not be like that, I must follow this one, I should be like this. So it creates, it makes us to fight this, we have to fight this way or that way. So we are creating some resistance, we are having again and again. So whenever we are creating some resistance on the background of a philosophy, then the same situation will continue.
So initially I was healthy as a child. I had pain and pressure both mixed up, comes and goes. I was not interfering with any philosophy. Then when I become intelligent, I brought this philosophy to eliminate pain and having only pleasure. I tried to...
When we select something.
Intelligence. When intelligence develops as a man grows, so I try to bring philosophy to remove the pain, but it multiplied the pain. So I removed the philosophy
So
also.
the reason is that it gives way for our struggle, fighting. So the fighting nature alone gives the problem.
So I removed the philosophy also. The pain also reduced to its original size. Now I am healthy, where I will have both pain and pleasure, as I was having in innocent child.
Yeah. So we are once again we are in the original nature.
Where both pain and pleasure will come and go as it is.
So whenever we are not against anything, whenever we do not have any resistance, natural flow will be there.
The natural amount of pain will be there. That won't be a very big influence. If I claim that I should have a mind without pain, that's not possible. That's what we bring in philosophy.
So naturally, even though you are enlightened or liberated, whenever you are placed in a situation,
Pain will
you
be
have
felt.
some response.
Yeah.
That is natural.
That is
But
natural.
whenever you fight against the response, then you are multiplying the struggle. So natural response, when you give total freedom to the response itself, even though some adverse feeling may come, in the moment, in the next moment it will be away, it will go away, it will blossom.
So if you don't accept that natural
Yeah.
initial amount of pain, then the problem starts.
Yeah.